Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, the House passes a bill that could ban TikTok for users in the U.S. And we now know the sentencing date for the armorer who was convicted of involuntary manslaughter on the set of a movie.
Plus, we stay warm tomorrow, but a big cool down is on the way by early next week. Those details coming up as Mountain News at 5:30 starts now.
Dedicated to Southern and Eastern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. Lawmakers have taken the first step towards potentially banning TikTok in the U.S., but the bill is not law yet, and TikTok influencers have descended on Washington, D.C. to try and convince them to keep the platform. CBS's Skylar Henry has more from Capitol Hill.
Keep TikTok! Keep TikTok! Keep TikTok!
TikTok influencers protested outside the White House Wednesday, urging the president not to sign a bill banning the social media platform. They say the app is about more than just dancing.
Our representatives tell us all we know how to do is dance. If you want us, we're advocates for educators, we inspire, but if you want us to dance, we'll dance.
JT Laybourne from Utah makes a living on TikTok selling apparel.
It is 90+% of my family's income.
But he may soon be forced to find a new way to do business after the House voted to ban the platform in the U.S. unless there's an ownership change.
The yeas are 352, the nays are 65.
The bill passed overwhelmingly amid concerns TikTok's parent company, the Chinese-owned ByteDance, could pose a national security threat.
Americans need to ask themselves whether they want to give the Chinese government the ability to control access to their data.
A very divided House came together behind this bill, but its fate in the Senate remains unclear. Majority Leader Chuck Schumer has not said whether he'll bring the bill to the floor for a vote.
I'll have to consult and intend to consult with my relevant committee chairman to see what their views would be.
President Biden has said he would sign the bill, while former President Trump, who once called for a TikTok ban, has spoken out against the legislation. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Trump said on social media that banning TikTok could provide a bigger platform for Facebook, which he opposes after it previously banned him. But his change also came after a meeting with GOP megadonor Jeff Yass, a major investor in TikTok. A judge in Georgia dismissed some of the election interference charges against Donald Trump, but Judge Scott McAfee left most of the 41-count racketeering indictment intact. He threw out the solicitation of violation of oath by a public officer charge, though he said prosecutors could still rely on the alleged conduct the charge was based on. Prosecutors say the defendants pressured members of the Georgia legislature to unlawfully appoint presidential electors. Hunter Biden has declined an invitation to appear at a public hearing before Congress with his attorney, calling it a, quote, circus act. The attorney said the president's son answered every question Republicans had for him during last month's 6-hour deposition behind closed doors. That's when Hunter Biden met with the House Oversight and Judiciary Committees to testify in their impeachment inquiry of his father. The Republican National Committee is reportedly adding new lawyers both internally and externally that will focus intensely on election integrity. The current RNC Chief of Staff said the lawyers will battle election integrity from an offensive instead of a defensive posture. According to sources, the lawyers will include Charlie Spies, who will become chief counsel at the RNC. Former Trump attorney Michael Cohen is meeting with Manhattan prosecutors Wednesday ahead of Trump's hush money trial. That's according to a source familiar with the matter. The trial is set to begin March 25th. Cohen is a key witness in the case and has been holding weekly sessions with the Manhattan District Attorney's Office to prepare. The case stems from alleged hush money payments made by Cohen to adult film star Stormy Daniels. Assaults against postal workers are on the rise across the U.S., with more than 2,000 attacks against postal workers across the United States since 2020. In response, Representatives Greg Landsman and Brian Fitzpatrick introduced the Protect Our Letter Carriers Act.
Our letter carriers, postal workers, play such an important role in our lives, and it's an everyday thing. So keeping them safe has to be a top priority.
The bipartisan bill would update technology used by postal workers to better secure mail collection boxes and their universal keys, often the targets of robbery. Lawmakers say the bill would also update investigation and sentencing guidelines in the DOJ so offenders are prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. A sentencing date is set for the film armorer convicted of involuntary manslaughter in the Rust movie set shooting. Hannah Gutierrez-Reed is said to be sentenced on April 15th. A New Mexico jury found her guilty of manslaughter in the shooting that killed cinematographer Helena Hutchins. Actor Alec Baldwin was holding the gun, and Gutierrez-Reed was found responsible for the fact that it had live ammunition, not blanks. She could be sentenced to up to 18 months in prison.
Well, as high pressure controls the forecast, we are tracking some more dry and comfortable weather as we go into your Wednesday evening. A live look from the London Corbin Airport, that current temperature up to 73 degrees. Most of us right now in the lower 70s to middle 70s in some areas, up to 73 for Manchester, also in Harlan, 72 for Jackson, Hazard, also in Pikeville, and 70 over in Clintwood at this hour for Southwest Virginia. We should be in the upper 50s, so all of us are well above average on this Wednesday. Up on the radar, we are dry, all thanks to high pressure, and more dry weather is also on the way as we go into this evening. Lows back in the upper 40s to lower 50s as you wake up and walk out the door on Thursday. So again, we are dry overnight under a mainly clear to partly cloudy sky. But I do want to show you this. We are tracking our next weather system, this area of low pressure over Kansas pushing into Nebraska, also Iowa, a severe thunderstorm watch box close to St. Louis, Missouri. Now the good news for us, no severe weather, but we are tracking an increase in that moisture as early as tomorrow evening and more rain chances by Friday. Those details plus the details on a cool down coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
All right, Cameron, thank you. Ongoing violence and political unrest continue to plague the island nation of Haiti, despite the country's prime minister's decision to resign. The United Nations now says all non-essential UN staff will begin leaving Haiti due to the security situation. CBS's Christian Benavidez reports from Haiti's border with the Dominican Republic, where people are trying to get out.
It's another day here in Dajabon, Dominican Republic. Remember, this is a border crossing going right into Haiti near Cap Haitian. As folks are making the journey to be able to cross into the Dominican Republic, those who are in the most affected areas, places like Port-au-Prince, where gangs control most of the roads for people to leave, those folks are likely unable to get to where we're at. One man we spoke to today, he's from Illinois. He tells us that the road to get here from his home in Haiti was blocked for 2 days before he could finally get here and get to the airport to fly to Illinois. That's sort of what we've been seeing from people that have been coming here. Let's hear from him.
The only way I can get out of Haiti right now is to come over to the Dominican. So this morning the roads were great. It depends how early you leave in the morning. If you leave later in the morning from Cap Haitian, a lot of times you'll run into roadblocks, tires burning in the street, they'll block you. They don't want you to cross, they don't want you to get through. So today was a good day.
The border is closed on both sides, and that's actually why we're reporting from the Dominican Republic, because we can't get into Haiti, and we still do not know what the timeline looks like as far as getting a transitional government in place, and that transitional government is going to get a prime minister in place. And once the prime minister is in place, that's when you have the opportunity to get free and fair elections. So it's a long road ahead for Haiti. Christian Benavidez, CBS News, Dajabon, Dominican Republic.
Well, there's no time like the present to start building your retirement. Tips from an expert with AARP coming up about what you need to know so you can be ready when that time comes.
Plus, rain chances are back for the second half of the work week. Your forecast coming up.